We do have finite resources. Why aren't we dying off? Well, Paul Ehrlich's answer is that his calculations were a little bit off. But don't worry, the apocalypse is just behind every corner.
All the scholarly work that I did on these texts indicated that the world would end.
Oh, gosh, I'm as disappointed as you are, Herb.
Yeah, but I went home and began to reevaluate the texts.
You don't say.
And I realized that I'd made some crucial errors.
Well, math is hard.
The actual end of the world is May 19th.
Okay, let's see what we've got. On the 19th, we can't give you the park. We have a spring spectacular free ice cream giveaway.
I misspoke. Yeah, it's May 20th.
That is free.
This theory that overpopulation will result in civilization collapse was championed by a number of environmental biologists, most famously by Paul Ehrlich, and he wrote his most famous work, The Population Bomb, in 1968, with his wife and colleague Anne Ehrlich. In short, the argument goes that when you put yeast in a petri dish with yeast nutrient, the yeast will rapidly eat all of the nutrient, and then, once the food is gone, they will have a population collapse. Humans are bioorganisms like yeast. The Earth is a closed system like a petri dish. Ergo, we would face a similar collapse once we overconsume our resources. The first editions of The Population Bomb, published in the 1960s, started with, "The battle to feed all of humanity is over. In the 1970s, hundreds of millions of people will starve to death in spite of any crash programs embarked upon now. At this late date, nothing can prevent a substantial increase in the world death rate." Awkwardly, this didn't happen. But Paul Ehrlich made a lot of apocalyptic predictions throughout the decades that didn't come to pass. He also claimed that by the year 2000, England most likely wouldn't exist. He claimed that by 1980, all important life in the sea will be extinct. And he said that we ought to stop supplying countries like India with food because sober analysis shows a hopeless imbalance between food production and population. Our inadequate aid ought to be reserved for those who can survive. All of these predictions turned out not to be true. England still exists, there's plenty of life still in the ocean, and importantly, India is now self-sufficient in its food production. So had we taken Paul Ehrlich's advice and stopped providing with food, it would have caused widespread famines that were fundamentally unnecessary. Environmental doomsaying has the same track record as cultists screaming about lizard people in the park.
Prepare yourself. I have terrible news.
You do?
The world is going to end tomorrow at dawn.
Aw, nuts. You sure it's tomorrow?
Afraid so. Right at dawn. Zorp is going to be here.
But the question is why? The yeast analogy is really compelling.